What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers just played the Indianapolis Colts in Week 9 of the 2019 NFL season, and they snuck out of there and survived, and I survived, more importantly, my 12 heart attacks during this game. This back and forth, slow-starting, topsy-turvy, mistake-ridden game, as the Pittsburgh Steelers unseat the 5-2 Colts 26-24 to get even at 4-4 this season, and now everything's at a brand new start. What a statement win this was to beat our first winning record team of the season. The Colts came in at 5-2. All of their games were decided by 6 points or less, and this one was also as well. A lot of stuff to go over in this game. This was the best team besides the Patriots we played so far this season. This was an important statement win for us. Again, to get back to 4-4, and to win in the clutch, to be able to win something in the final seconds and come through, feels very good for us now. Resetting the season at an even record through the first half of the year. So considering all of our mistakes and all of our injuries and all of our change of personnel and our trades and our cuts and all this stuff, like Moncrief was cut this week. Obviously, we added Van Ness this season. We added Minkah Fitzpatrick this season. Ben got hurt, so Mason Rudolph started. Duck started a game. Got Moncrief, brought him in, cut him. So many injuries at running back all year long. It's just been a very, very busy turnover of season. But again, at 4-4 halfway through, we are right in the thick of things in the AFC. Baltimore playing the Patriots tonight. If they lose, they go to 5-3, so they'll only be one game ahead of us on the schedule. And next week, we play the Browns, and the Ravens play the Texans. A much tougher game for the Ravens. So this thing could be wide open by the end of tonight when the Ravens play the Patriots. Again, this was another game where we started slow. The defense allowed some long drives, held a couple to field goals, but allowed a couple touchdowns early. The Colts were up 10-3 and were sitting at the 6-yard line, and they were about to go up 17-3 as they were going in for the go-ahead touchdown to end the first half. They could have went in at the end of the first half 17-3 and get the ball back, and it really could have been the end of the game for us. But Minkah Fitzpatrick intercepts the ball and runs it back 96 yards for a 96-yard pick six, which changed the entire complexion of the game. We went into the half down just 16-13, where it could have been very much more lopsided. So Pittsburgh, Fitzpatrick has been saving us all season, making big plays for us at the end of halves, saving touchdowns for us. Already, I think, has 5 interceptions this season, which is the most by any safety in one season for quite a long time, at least since Troy, but I think even before that. So Fitzpatrick has been worth the first-round pick every step of the way. T.J. Watt continues to be a dominant force. Already has 7.5 sacks through the first half of this season. Bud Dupree in a contract year has been huge. Cam Hayward's been huge. It has been a really nice side on the defense on that side of the ball. But again, starting slow on defense and the offense being very conservative. We did dink and dunks the entire time on offense, but it worked for us. Using the running backs has been our mantra this season. Letting the running backs get short catches and break tackles. That's been our most successful offensive weapon this year. Let's get to the stats and I'll talk more about it. Mason Rudolph, 26 of 35. Doesn't sound bad completion-wise. Sounds pretty efficient, but all of his stuff was very short. Only 191 yards on 26 completions. So 26 of 35, 191, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 1 safety allowed, where he was stripped. He held the ball too long in his own end zone, got stripped, thankfully recovered it, so it was a Colts safety and not a touchdown. But even still, you don't pat the ball and hold the ball in your own end zone. Big mistake there by Rudolph. His throw that was picked off was a little high for Juju into the outside, but it should have still been caught. It wasn't a great throw, but it was good enough where Juju should have caught it, so I'm not going to put that pick on Rudolph. But even still, a lot of his stuff across the middle was way behind. James Washington made a really nice catch one-handed behind him, where it should have been picked off because the ball was so far behind him, he had to stretch backwards to get the catch. So Mason still, he's throwing the ball up down the sidelines okay and giving his guys a chance, but anything down the field, and especially crossing routes, he's not looking comfortable. He's not looking good at all. He's throwing low and behind a lot. Jalen Samuels was our player of the game on offense today with 13 catches for 73 yards. but he did have a major fumble. He fumbled, which gave the Colts the ball at our 30-yard line, so big turnover there, in spite of the fact that he had 13 catches today, which I think was either the Steelers running back receiving record for most catches in a game or was tied with Le'Veon Bell. I can't remember if Bell had 12 or 13. But close to a record there. Samuel's on the ground, only 8 carries for 10 yards. Nothing on the ground, but was very effective through the air except for the fumble. So kind of an up-and-down game for Samuel. Trey Edmonds came in nicely, 12 carries for 73 yards. Most of that was on a 44-yard run where the tackles came out. DeCastro and Pouncey blocked nicely and sprung Edmonds for a 44-yard run. 12 for 73, that was really our only big run of the day on the ground. So nothing big on the ground game except for that one play. Receiving, aside from Samuel, James Washington, 4 catches, 69 yards. 4 pretty impressive catches, including a downfield 30-plus yard catch to try and get us the lead at the end of the game. So Washington played pretty well today. That's pretty much it for the offense. Again, it was all conservative short passes to McDonald for a touchdown, short pass to Van Nett, 13 short passes to Samuel, and let him break some tackles. So playing without Connor, impressive for the efficiency and good to get the win. And we did get 26 points total, but offensively, it was a lot of field goals. It was the defensive touchdown, and it was just trying to extend the drives. So Mason needs to improve. Samuels needs to tuck the ball away, and we need to get Connor back healthy on offense. So we're still not the best offense in the world, but it was enough today to get the win. Several times settling for field goals at the 10-yard line or more. We need to convert those into touchdowns. Defensively, again, we started slow, allowing some stuff today. Main quarterback, Brissett was hurt today. Cam Hayward blocked a guy into Brissett's leg, so Brissett missed most of the game. Veteran journeyman Brian Hoyer came in, played very admirably. He had almost 200 yards passing, along with 3 touchdowns in this game, even though he did have the interception in his own end zone, returned for a touchdown. But to come in and not practice much, even though he's a veteran, came in, 3 touchdowns, played very well. Marlon Mack ran very hard for the Colts. We had a hard time stopping him. He was extending drives on 3rd and short and 4th and short today. He played well. Zach Pascal made some plays on offense for them today as well. But the defense did step up. They did get a big pick 6 and creating points. They had 5 sacks in this game, a fumble recovery in this game, and interception for a touchdown in this game. So 2 big turnovers. They also forced another fumble that was recovered by the Colts on special teams, and one was recovered by us. So a lot of splash plays on defense. All in all here, like I said, Minkah Fitzpatrick, 5th pick of the year, 96-yard pick 6. Bud Dupree, big game, 2 tackles for a loss, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. A lot of pressure for Dupree today. T.J. Watt continues his dominance, 1.5 sacks today. Mike Hilton had a sack today. Mark Barron had a .5 sack today as well, so 5 sacks total. Big day for those guys. Coverage-wise was hit or miss. Hayden made some nice tackles. Nelson made some nice tackles. There was a pass interference call in the last drive of the game where the Colts were going to take the lead. Pittsburgh was playing defense. The Colts were on like the 30-yard line, and they called a 35-yard pass interference on a very uncatchable ball on Steven Nelson. Very bad call. That was a 35-yard swing, and if Vinatieri made that field goal, the Colts would have went up 27-26 and probably won the game. So big swing call for the refs there. Very bad call. Next play, Zach Pascal catches a ball on I think it was on Mike Hilton, where there was a push-off, and that was not called. That call was not as clear as the other call, but there was a bad defensive pass interference call on Nelson on a ball that was 20 yards past them. And then the next play, Pascal pushed off, and it was not called. So we challenged both plays and lost both challenges. So some questionable ref call at the end. The Colts did get down the field for, I think, a 47-yard field goal attempt to go and try and win the game, and Vinatieri missed it because the laces were facing him. So we wind up getting away with the win in spite of the safety and the special teams call. Our coverage all day wasn't great in special teams. They were starting with the ball on the 35 or 40, although we did get Ola Adeni forced a fumble that Holton recovered on special teams. Another play, Jordan Dangerfield forced a fumble. The Colts recovered, so they at least made up for the bad coverage throughout the day with some splash plays on special teams. So defense started slow and made up for it. Offense was pretty slow all day, but at least got in field goal range and got points. Defense made plays when it matters, and Pittsburgh wins 26-24. So like I said, If the Ravens lose against the Patriots tonight, they're back to one game in front of us for the division. And next week they're playing a tough Texans team, and we've got the Browns. So, again, by the end of next week, it could be a tied division. So I feel pretty good at 4-4 going into the midway point of this season. What do you guys think? Who has stood out to you guys? How much do you love that trade for Minkah Fitzpatrick? What do you think of Mason Rudolph's slow projection and how he's not progressing? And how much do we need Connor back in the offense? Talk to me about this week's game and next week's game in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys soon. I'll be giving you guys some kind of mid-season report very soon at some point this week, on top of some horror content. You guys have been hanging around for football, and I haven't given much horror content, so that's coming as well. Check back in soon, guys. See you later.